Alright, so since John wasn't that good last week, I thought we'd change it up and we're doing Hebrews.
Yes.
Alright, so that's where we're going for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
I reckon it'll take us a good 10 weeks at least. So,
It's quite big, Hebrews.
oh, it's only 13 chapters, but
Wow.
only. It's long enough. So, who'd like to start?
I'll start.
Yeah? Go for it, man.
Long ago, at many times and in many ways, Elohim spoke to our fathers by the prophets. But in these last days he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, through whom also he created the world. He is the radiance of the glory of the Elohim, and the exact imprint of his nature. And he upholds the universe by the word of his power. After making purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the Majesty on high, having become as much superior to angels as the name he has inherited is more excellent than theirs.
Stop there. So, where was it? See how he says, he is the radiance of the glory of Elohim and the exact imprint of his nature. That there stands out because that's what we are to be. The exact imprint of what he was when he was here. So it stands out. It's like, oh, you don't, unless you actually read it and understand it with his spirit, you don't realize that that's what he expects from us. He upholds the universe by the word of his power. What about that? Alright. Well, you want to continue on, mister?
Wow.
5.
Just front up, man.
For which of the angels did I will say, you are my son?
Slow down.
For to which of the angels did I ever say, you are my son? Today I have begotten you? Or again, I'll be him, father.
I will be to him a father.
I will be to him a father, and he shall be to me a son. And again, when he brings the firstborn into the world, he says, let all Elohim angels worship him. Of the angels, he says, he makes his angels wings and his ministers a flame of fire.
Stop there. So, Elohim says, let all the angels worship him. Worship Yahusha. Yeah? And then he says, he makes his angels winds and his ministers a flame of fire. Who are his ministers?
Us?
That's what I got. That's what he said to me. We're his ministers. A flame of fire. What about that? How does the flame of fire come? Anybody?
Is it the cleansing with the Yahushua?
That's the flame of fire, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the fire baptism that we get.
Yes.
But it comes how? With what? Word of truth? Yeah?
Yeah.
So it comes with the word of truth, which is his word. Because that's like a sword. That brings the fire. That makes you burn when there's something unclean in us. Yeah?
Yes.
It's interesting that he says that, and his ministers a flame of fire. How often do you get the fire? When somebody says something to you and you know that they're right, but you don't want to admit that they're right. You get that fire, don't you?
Mm.
Yeah?
Yes, you
Yeah.
would.
That's it. Alright, Rob, you want to read?
Yes, I can do. That's about number 9 now.
From 8.
From 8, all right.
Yeah.
But of the Son, he says, your throne, O Elohim, is forever and ever. The spectre of uprightness is the spectre of your kingdom.
Scepter.
Scepter.
King Scepter.
Scepter.
Keep going.
Scepter.
Yeah, that's it, like the
Not right.
spear type of thing, isn't it?
Not that total.
No.
Continue on, mate.
You have loved righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore, Elohim, your Elohim, has anointed you with the oil of gladness beyond your companions. And your Master laid the foundation of the earth in the beginning, and the heavens are at work.
Are the work of your hands.
Are the work of your hands. They will perish, but you remain. Will all wear out like a garment, like a robe. You will roll them up like a garment. They will be changed. But you are the same, and your years will have no end. And to which the angels has he ever said, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet? Are there not all ministering spirits set out to serve for the sake of those who are to inherit salvation?
What about that? That's Hebrews chapter 1. You have loved righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore, Elohim, your Elohim has anointed you with the oil of gladness beyond your companions. And you, Master, laid the foundation of the earth in the beginning, and the heavens are the work of your hands. That clearly states that Yahusha was there and did. From the beginning, he was there, and it was all him.
He created everything.
That's exactly it.
That's it.
The heaven. He laid the foundation for the earth in the beginning, and he created the heavens. You know? And then he says, they'll all perish. But everybody keeps telling us that they're going to be renewed. How is it going to be renewed when it clearly states they will perish? If something perishes it, you can't bring back to life. Can you?
No, it's gone, isn't it?
That's it. What did you think of that, Don?
What jumped out at you there that you wanted to present this chapter?
Well, I want to present the whole of Hebrews.
What's jumping out at you? What's inspired you about this?
Oh, many things from throughout the whole of Hebrews.
Well, we're just dealing with this chapter.
Oh, this chapter tells us about how he is, you know, what he did for us, the things that are expected of us, and how, you know, basically he's saying in it, I am Elohim in there.
Mm.
Is telling us that, the angels are going to be lower than us.
That was good, wasn't
Yeah, interesting. I never thought of it.
It says his ministers bring the flame of fire. And how many times has someone spoken to each and every one of us, and the truth of his word brings that fire, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We are all ministers for Yahusha. So therefore, having read Hebrews a little bit, I thought, this is a good one to go through.
Didn't you realise you were higher than angels?
No, I didn't actually, but, kind of reading through now, it's been said a few times they're here to help us, get through things, to guide us from Yahusha's messengers, basically. So, and I thought, okay, so just reading that, it's like, okay.
Well, angels weren't created in his image, like we were.
No.
Angels weren't born of his blood,
No.
like we are.
Okay.
Angels are not family.
No.
Yeah.
He didn't create the angels.
He created everything.
Yeah. So
But
he
I'm saying-
created them and then thought, another go.
It's interesting. We're replacing. We're replacing all the fallen ones that lost it. That's why Satan's so furious at us.
Yeah.
Because we're replacing
Yeah.
what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. Yeah.
Interesting to think about.
Yeah. Well, it certainly is. Yeah. Yeah. I never thought of that.
Know who you are.
Replacing that, because I think it was 25% was sent down with Satan, isn't it?
A third, I think it was.
So,
Yeah, one third.
1/3.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So there's a bit of room for the chosen ones.
Yeah.
So what did everybody else get out of that?
I got that you can, when you get,
Big voice, man.
I got that when you love Yahusha, you can get joy beyond comprehension.
Yeah, very good. Joy beyond comprehension, that's it. Most people wouldn't understand it, would they?
I mean, it's beyond comprehension.
That's it. What did you get from it, Mikey?
What Yahusha's given us, the opportunities and how he's treated us. We're very lucky. We shouldn't take advantage of it, and I think we just need to see exactly how, he hasn't done this for other people, or, we just need to realize that and just, yeah.
That's it.
You all seem a bit overwhelmed by what Yahusha's done for you. What status you are. What do you think he wants in return for this royal status?
He wants us to follow his law, his way, to be like him.
Yeah.
Listen to everything that he says and do what he says. Mark says, why did I pick Hebrews? I was told to.
Yeah.
It was one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Realise every single moment of your life is being recorded. And guess who's recording it?
Yahusha.
The angels.
The angels.
Mm.
Yeah. They're doing his work for him, aren't they?
Mm.
He listens to us all the time, doesn't he? He's with us all the time.
Mm.
But the angels do the recording. Is it the Akashic records? That's right.
They're invisible. They're there all the time. They're there to protect you. There's plenty of times you might have run off the road or been hit by a truck or anything, but there's angels protecting you.
Yeah.
And even times where you might have just had a brief encounter that could have been much worse. There's angels protecting us.
Yeah.
And there's also angels recording us.
Writing it down.
Writing it down.
That's it.
Well, what do they see? What do they hear? What do they... Well, if we don't make it right now, then it comes out later. Because if it's not reconciled with Yahusha's blood, if we haven't changed and become perfected through the vein, then you end up having to answer for it later on.
Yes. When you kneel in front of him and he runs past.
Great white throne judgment.
Yes.
For all those who didn't get perfected. Yeah, it's not just good enough to know Yahusha's name.
No.
Those who didn't get perfected don't make the first resurrection, which is when he comes back.
Yes.
Which includes those who have died from old, who get raised up first, and then those who might be fortunate to be still alive, we rise up and get transformed.
Yeah.
That's the first resurrection. They make it to the wedding feast. Anybody who doesn't, which is how many billions, they raised up 1,000 years later.
Yeah.
You know?
So they'd have to stay here under the devil.
Oh no, their flesh is destroyed. Just like our flesh is destroyed when we die.
Yeah.
And their spirit is asleep. Satan's going to be conquered and thrown in the pit for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, all these thousands are just... You see the last video about the 1,000? It's just continual.
Yeah.
It's just continual.
Yeah.
So, you know...
Yes, if you like waiting in queues, don't do anything else.
Yeah. You see how serious it is?
Oh, yes.
They're recording you all the time
Yeah.
to see if what you're doing is walking on the word, to see what you're doing with your life, with your time, are you hearing Yahusha? Are you utilising your time wisely? Are you doing what he wants you to do? You know?
Yes.
Very serious.
It is.
Because we have to give an account, not only for every idle word, but for
every action as
every behaviour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what we have to do. That's what I'm getting out of it.
Yeah.
And Paul's writing this to a group of Hebrews, wanting to wake them up a bit, encourage them.
Yeah.
So he's saying, know who you are. Elohim didn't give all these privileges to angels, but he's giving it to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's made it a lot easier as well, hasn't he? You know, it's not how it used to be.
Because they highly revered angels back then.
Yeah.
You couldn't get anything more. Amazing. Well, you know, holy.
Yeah.
But he says, of the angels, he says, he makes his angels winged and his ministers flames of fire, but the Son of Man, he says, your throne, O Elohim, is forever and ever. So he's lifting Yahusha up above angels.
Yeah.
So who's he telling them Yahusha is? Well, so this is part of the transition. The book of Acts was a transition. And this was written around the same time. Paul's writing it.
Yeah.
This was a time where people were still caught up in the old covenant, and yet Yahusha's already died and shed his blood.
Yeah.
And people are being set free here, there and everywhere. Jews and Gentiles are being set free, and yet you still have the authorities saying, oh, that's great that you're set free, but you've still got to do this, you've still got to do that, you've still got to come back to this.
Yeah.
And he's saying,
Don't have to.
no. So it's a transition. They were still immersing, baptizing people in water, and they were still doing a lot of things that were transitioning into what we see now 2,000 years later. Those things aren't necessary.
No.
It's great. The annals of time are just sifting out all the things that aren't necessary and just keeping the behavioural essence of the scripture alive.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful.
Yeah. It is.
Did you know there's creepy angels watching you? You better adjust your privacy settings. Yeah. Creepy angels watching
There's
you.
no privacy.
Better draw your blinds at night.
Even in the dark.
I'm pretty sure that won't help.
Pretty sure it won't help.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it won't help either.
Well, since that was only a short chapter, let's do number 2 as well. Yeah?
Yeah.
You want to read a bit, Don?
Sure.
Hebrews 2.
Therefore, we must pay much closer attention to what we have heard, lest we drift away from it. True. For since the message declared by angels proved to be reliable, and every transgression or disobedience received a just retribution, how shall we escape if we neglect such a great salvation? How shall we escape if we neglect such a great salvation or such a great deliverance that we've been offered? Didn't everything the angels say come to pass?
Yes?
Weren't the judgments they declared dished out?
Right.
Well, that's what the angels said. So how shall we escape if we neglect such a great deliverance? How do you get delivered?
Through the narrow gate.
By accepting that he's Elohim,
Yes, that's that.
getting his spirit and fire baptism.
Yes, and on to the wilderness.
It was declared at first by the Master, and it was attested to us by those who heard. While Elohim also bore witness by signs and wonders and various miracles and gifts of the set-apart Spirit distributed according to his will.
What about that first section of that chapter? Chapter 2. Therefore we must pay close attention. Tells us.
Yes.
Tells us. Pay close attention to what he's telling you. Listen very hard, very closely. Because every transgression and disobedience will receive just retribution. So it's telling us that if you've got a transgression or are disobedient, there will be retribution. So punishment. There will be a consequence.
Yes, I mean, right there, that's it. Therefore, we must pay close attention to what we've heard, lest we drift away. So if we've heard it and we forget it, or we don't act on it, we're doing the same, aren't we? Yeah, we're
Absolutely.
backwards. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He sent that to us, and if we don't pay attention, we'll say no thanks.
Yes.
He just keeps giving us more and more throughout each chapter
Yeah.
to know exactly what it is that he wants from us. Yeah. And then he says, well, Elohim also bore witness by signs and wonders and various miracles by the gifts of the set-apart Spirit distributed according to his will. Well, he doesn't distribute his set-apart Spirit unless he wants to.
No.
If he doesn't want to, if he doesn't believe that you are worthy of it, he won't give it to you. Robert, you want to read the next little bit?
That's fine.
Fine.
For it was not to angels that subjected the world to come, of which we are speaking. It has been testified somewhere. What is a man that you are mindful of him, or the Son of Man that you care for him?
Good. You want to read on a bit, Mikey, for me?
You made him for a little while lower than the angels. You have crowned him with glory and honor, putting everything into subjection under his feet. Now, in putting everything in subjection to him, he left nothing outside his control. At present, we do not yet see everything in subjection to him, but we see him who for a little while was made lower than the angels, namely Yahusha, crowned with glory and honor because of the suffering of death, so that by the grace of Elohim he might taste death for everyone.
Okay.
For it was fitting that he, for whom and by whom all things exist, in bringing many sons to glory, should make the founder of their salvation perfect through suffering. For he who sanctifies and those who are sanctified all have one source. That is why he is not ashamed to call them brothers, saying, I will tell you of your name to my brothers. In the midst of the congregation I will sing your praise.
Okay. What about here? He made him for a little while lower than the angels, but only for a little while. And then he was put above everybody. He was made Elohim in everything, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
He had to come and be a humble servant so that everybody who knew him knew how to behave. He taught those that followed him how to behave
Yes.
as a humble servant, not like the Pharisees and the Sadducees who you do as I say, not as I do.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
So he says, no, and then he says, he's put everything into subjection to him and nothing's left outside of his control. But we don't yet see everything in subjection to him. What does that mean? Or what do you think it means? Listen for Yahusha's voice. He'll tell you what it means. Ask him.
Do you hear a voice? What's it saying?
To continue reading more funny. Well, what does that mean? That he says he's going to put everything in subjection to him, but not everything is yet in subjection to him.
Look around.
That's it. What do you see out in the world? Do you see them even considering Yahusha and what he did for them?
No.
For them to be able to walk the earth? So are they in subjection to him?
Mm-mm.
Who is in subjection to him?
We are.
We are. And anybody else who believes he is Elohim and follows him. Anybody else who is dying to themselves, who's humbling themselves, lifting others up, showing others that they can do it too. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
He tells us, as I said, he tells us exactly what he wants from us all the time. We've just got to listen. Listen very closely. And again, I will put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children Elohim has given me. Since therefore the children share a flesh and blood, he himself likewise partook of the same things, that through death he might destroy the one who has the power of death, is that the devil and the deliverer, all those through fear of death were subject to lifelong slavery. For surely it is not angels that he helps, but he helps the offspring of Abraham. Therefore, he had to be made like his brothers in every respect, so that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in the service of Elohim, to make propitiation of the sins of the people. For because he himself has suffered when tempted, he is able to help those who are being tempted. What about that? Now Mark was saying about listening for his voice. And what's the first part of Hebrews say? We must pay much closer attention to what we've heard. Black and white. We must. If you don't, you go into transgressions and disobedience and you'll receive consequences for it. Yeah?
Yes.
What did you guys get out of it? Rob, you want to...
Yeah, I think he's saying that he comes from flesh and blood, and he made us in his image. So he's saying that I've done it and you can do it. You know, I've gone through it all, so you can go through it all too.
Yeah.
Perfected through suffering.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how he made all things perfected.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have worked if he hadn't suffered.
No, that's it. Because he'd just be, coming from not experiencing it, wouldn't he? And
he had to become a man to
Yeah.
save man. He had to
Yes.
become mankind to deliver mankind.
Yeah.
Because sin entered this world through a man and had to leave through a man.
Yeah.
Understand that?
That's it.
Yes.
So can you see that the suffering, we're joined to him and sharing his sufferings.
Yeah.
If he sees us suffering for righteousness, it makes him very happy.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because we've overcome ourselves, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's an easier way in your day, because you don't walk around saying, I'm suffering, or what would be a more practical application of suffering in Yahusha?
3 rules.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Let everybody have it.
Yes.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
She goes on the answers.
Don't take anything personally.
That's a good one, but the second one's even better.
Mm.
The second one's even harder. You're right. Number one is very important. Not taking things personal is important. You're right.
Yeah.
But by letting everybody have it,
Yeah.
aren't you actually suffering?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Inside, aren't you? Because you want to retaliate, but you're
Yeah.
not. Because
Yeah.
you're saying, you say that if you want.
Mm.
I will not react to it.
When you see what you see out of your eye at people, isn't it you're called to let them have it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
If you don't, what do you feel?
The fire.
The fire,
Mm.
the pain.
This is what Yahusha did. And we're picking up our torture stake and following him
Yeah.
into the suffering which we're putting off our flesh.
Yeah.
That's why he's training us to put it off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And come into what he wants us to do for him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And his angels recording it all.
That's
What we're called to do.
Yeah.
So this is touching,
Yeah. That's
this is
it.
piercing, It affects us, doesn't it?
Fine.
Does.
To realise your life is not your own.
Yeah,
To realise you were bought with a price.
that's it. Yeah.
You know. We all have to realise it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can quite easily carry on through life just doing your own thing and buying stuff and, you know, loving money and, you know, loving cheating on someone, you know, no one's going to know. But when you kind of realise that he's there taking all that down, you know, you suddenly realise, oh, you know, hopefully you realise you can't do that. You have to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
You're getting through it? How far through the vein you reckon you are?
I think I'm at the start of the fire. I'm getting it
Starting
now
to
and
get-
again, yeah.
Starting to get hot?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, it's been a couple of things. I mean, I don't go around taunting people or, you know, looking for a fight, but, you know, sometimes you think, oh, I shouldn't have said that. You know, that's wrong. And then might be something there, you know, discomfort. And so, oh, that's the start of it, I think. So, yes, I generally don't go looking for arguments or fights or anything, but, you know,
No,
sometimes...
Usually they come looking for
Yeah,
you.
that's it. Because you're not looking, they go, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, pick him, you know. And yeah, so a bit of discomfort. Was that a heart attack? No, that's not a heart attack. Indigestion? No, that's not that. You know, so yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy it's coming. You know, I want to get through this and go to the wilderness.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be.
How about you, buddy? Where you at?
Yeah, in the fire.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Getting that a fair bit?
Yeah. Never. Especially with
What do you do?
judging people.
Oh, okay.
That would do it.
Out in your life, you're judging people a lot.
Yeah,
We're talking about in your own home.
not in the home, not really. I mean, I used to, but not anymore. There's only 3 people, and I don't really...
Oh, we can be pretty demonstrative. We can be pretty full on. Put us all together.
Nah,
Go on, mate.
I don't generally judge anyone in the home anymore. But yeah, it's mainly just out there when there's so much going on, and it just gets a bit like when there's like you get a bit overwhelmed with it, and then you just kind of crack and get annoyed at people, and yeah,
It's true.
Yeah.
We understand.
I understand.
Totally.
The 3 rules are vital.
Yeah.
You've got to put them to every thought because they're a summary of scripture.
yeah,
We've had some pretty crazy old birds the last few days with talking spirits, and they just don't shut up, and they just talk and talk, and they talk crazy stuff, and they're like, as time goes on, society is getting worse.
yeah,
Very much so.
Their sentences don't line up, and they're just completely, well, it's like talking to crazy people. And you've just got to suffer through it and help where you can and not judge and not.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like out there in the wading through the masses of humanity. So you're right.
yeah,
You're right what you see. It's very hard. I found it very hard when I was a lot younger to cope with what I could see, cope with what people were doing to me. You know?
yeah.
You're very gifted and talented in your field, and people are not letting you have anything, are they? Face it. It's very easy to want to get them back, prove who you are.
Yeah.
And they're very happy to keep you in that place, because then you're working harder for them.
Yeah.
You know? And your co-workers are just jealous.
Yeah.
And they taunt you and play games and tricks, and it's best to face all this up front. You know,
That's it.
let them have it.
Yeah. It very often happens if you're chosen by, say a boss, but someone who's higher than you. Oh, he's good, he does the work good. So they show you favouritism, and the other people don't like it.
Yeah.
They're like, what did you get? They didn't realise they can just come up to your level, and they get favouritism too. Favouritism. But yeah, it's quite easy, And boss is away. He says, "Oh, Rob, look after the place." Then suddenly no one likes me because I'm not the boss. I was a worker, so there's another thing. So right, let him have it. You'll expect some to have to defend yourself, but you just don't rise to it. Yeah, that's it. And it's the test, isn't it? There's someone testing you, and someone will be happy to ride you with a whip.
Yeah.
The demon, he'll be happy to get you fired up and get away. You're not in that. Go off. And go on that path.
Well, we're saying we've been saying lately 2027 things are going to start happening. It's already halfway through 2025.
Yeah.
Really?
That's it.
So all these things you're reading and getting, it's being written down. Is it time we take it seriously?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, what are you going to do if Yahushua arrives? What are you going to do? What are you going to do if Yahushua arrives and you haven't been made perfect?
We're going to burn.
We know. We know chemically what's going to happen. I meant how you feel.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Because unlike all the other masses of humanity, who's he told what's going to happen beforehand?
Us.
Yeah. What privilege is it? There's people you see in your day that you actually think, should I? Should I?
Yeah.
What are they going to do with this? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, sometimes you wait.
Yeah.
Well, let's nurture this relationship a bit more. But just looking at the mindset, you just think, how's this person going to, they just have no idea.
No.
They get up, they eat, they sleep, they do their silly things, and they go to, it's just the same. They can't handle these sort of truths, can they?
No.
Not in the state they're in now.
No, that's it.
How lucky are we to have received this?
Extremely.
Yeah.
So how would you feel if he doesn't say to you, come on, good and faithful servant?
Well, that's it. And that was me not long ago, wasn't it? Didn't know of Yahushua.
Same.
Didn't know of Elohim. Knew of the JC and God and all that, but But yeah, so I was out in the dark. But he did guide me to you for me to learn. So
he's moving very fast.
yes, that's
Maybe
right.
he is.
That's right.
Same time you're out in the dark, so was I.
Yeah, that's it.
I just had head knowledge. I didn't know him like this.
No.
Not at all.
No,
He's
that's
brought us into a vein where we can know him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
all my kids think they know Yahusha because they were raised in the name of Yahusha.
Yeah.
I didn't know Yahusha back then.
No,
I was just doing
just reading the words.
I was just doing a religion.
Yeah,
Religion that involved feasts and Sabbaths and, well, it's not too far off from what the Jews do. The Jews do these
that's
days.
it.
They do feasts and Sabbaths and they declare a name and they declare a belief and they have a strict, laborious lot, all these rules and stuff, but they don't know him.
No.
I didn't know him.
no.
But
That's it.
so it's
No,
amazing.
None of us knew him like we do now.
No.
No.
It's only been, the last year and a half that we've actually come a lot further along.
So you're not that far behind, mate.
No.
Yahusha's actually moving faster in these
Yes.
days. He says the first will be last and the last will be first.
Yeah.
He's going to give the ones who come in later double, triple to speed them on.
Yeah, that's it. More the better, eh? There's no point just 5 of us going.
Yeah.
He wants all of his creation to go, but he needs them to realise, to follow him. He is Elohim. And then you're most of the way there.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
after there's some tests after that, but you know, if you follow what he says,
Mm.
you go through quicker. What he says.
He really wants you to know who you are,
Yeah.
because it seems pretty hopeless when you step out of here, step out into the world, to your job, sometimes in your own family. You just wants it. The enemy just wants you to be completely down.
Yeah.
And Yahusha's showing you through all this dialogue with angels and deliverance, and it's forcing you, even if you don't understand every word, which it's not that hard to understand, but even if you don't grasp every single sentence, he's putting your mind on something that's not just, there's the remote,
Yeah.
there's my phone,
Yeah.
there's my car keys. He's putting your mind on, how often do you think about what angels are doing? I don't spend much time in my day thinking about
No.
peeping Tom angels. You
No.
know, like, writing down every single thought,
Yeah.
not thought, but every single.
Action.
It's important for us to be.
Yeah.
It's lifting us out of our reality and saying, "Look who you can be."
That's it. And it's also, you know, don't just be like this here and then go back, because they're still putting it down. Be like this everywhere you go, isn't it? You know, have love, have faith, and all those, you know, the fruits. Because they're still writing down, you know, if I go home and crash and run the TV and my mind goes off, TV, 8 hours. You know.
Well, you just keep him there all the time. There's nothing wrong with crashing after a hard day and chilling out in front of something, but you just keep him, because as the world does, it wants to draw you further than what you're actually watching into. Oh, I wonder what that is. I wonder what that is. I wonder if there's a whole series. I wonder, and particularly if it's something that's wrong or sinful or perverted or whatever, he wants to take you. So you just keep Yahusha there all the time, whatever you're watching or scrolling on or whatever. You just keep him there the whole time.
Yeah.
Because obviously the body needs rest.
Yeah.
The mind needs a bit of downtime. There's nothing wrong with chilling
We're
out.
humans, aren't we?
But you just keep Yahusha there all the time.
Yeah.
You're sifting everything, information that you're taking in through. That's right, that's right, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's right, that's right. I agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
He's protecting your thought, eyes, ears. He's protecting your gates.
Yeah.
What you're letting in.
Yeah, that's right.
Because if you subject yourself to enough stuff that's bad, you'll just think it's normal.
Yeah.
If you constantly get, to start with, if you know something's pretty bad, don't subject yourself to it.
That's it.
And fast forward those bits or whatever, and you're just checking everything all the time.
Yeah. I've actually found myself looking away when there's a film on and it comes to a bit of a, you know, cuddly moment, a bit more than that. I actually found myself looking away. You know, so I don't want that. You know,
it's dangerous, isn't it?
imagery, you know, it very easily leads you away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's in a lot of stuff now, so.
Gets stored in the memory banks for later.
Yeah.
You got to protect yourself.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
He's showing you what to do.
That's right, yeah.
Because it's everywhere today.
Yeah.
They're celebrating it,
That's
heralding
it,
it and lifting it up. Good is bad and bad is good.
That's it. Murder as well. That's celebrated, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Violence and aggression.
Just, killed 4 people. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you were right, darling. This is very encouraging.
Yeah.
Good chapters. Good stuff. You heard right. Good stuff. Encouraging. Got some stuff to take away with? Yeah?
Yeah.
He's not just here when you read the word, he's there with you all the time.
Yeah.
Start talking to him, start asking him, what do you think about this? What should I do here? He'll make himself known to you. It's a relationship.
Yeah.
That's why he died for you. That's why his blood sprinkled you to open this portal on your heart.
Yeah.
So you can go in there. We're not perfected enough or further along in history enough for us to actually enter physically with him.
No.
But in spirit, we can access the throne room.
Yeah.
That's why Satan is so angry at us, because he used to be able to access the throne room.
Yeah.
And when Yahusha died and took his blood up, he booted him out.
Yeah.
There was a war. So Satan's so stupid, he thinks if he can get into us,
Yeah.
he can somehow access. It's not going to work.
No.
Because he won't go through, you've got to go through, remember when we talked about the filter,
Yes.
the fire, the cauldron,
Yes.
the baptism of fire. Is Satan going to go through that?
No, he thinks he's better than that.
Yes.
That's the only way you get into the wilderness.
Yes.
It's the only way you get access. So,
Which is unique to us.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's not for everyone.
So utilise your portal.
Mm.
Mm.
Go
If you had a physical portal in your bedroom that you could stick your head in and
Yeah.
say hello to heavenly creatures, you'd be in there all the time, wouldn't you?
Well, it used to be that way, didn't it?
Like the
I'm
lion, the
saying
witch,
it again. He
lion,
stopped
witch,
all
what
that.
is it? Lion, the
I
witch.
wish in a wardrobe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought you'd know it. You'd be running into that wardrobe all the time, wouldn't you? Well, why aren't
Of
we?
course he would.
That's it.
You can't stick your head in there, but you can stick your ears and
Yeah.
you can hear him.
Yeah.
You know?
Suppose again, it's a visual thing, isn't it? When you open the wardrobe, you can see through, but you can't see it. You have to believe it. You have to feel it.
But you can still see him everywhere.
Mm.
You can see him in everything.
Yes.
To acknowledge him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really good.
Yeah.
That was very uplifting.
Yes. Thank you, Teresa.
That's all right. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next week for 3, maybe 4 as well. We'll see. Bye.
Bye.
There's a plan in place.